The following is intended for mature audiences only. Discretion is advised.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of We're Done Here Pod. Please make sure to like and subscribe to our podcast wherever you may be watching or listening to this. This week, we have a very special guest. Her name is Amy Veltman.
Hey.
Did I say that right? Your last name?
Yeah, it's really phonetically simple.
Yeah, you never know. Okay, great. So Amy is a comedian here in New York City from the Upper West Side.
No, everybody thinks that, which is, I don't know if that's coded for something else, but no, I live in Midtown East. I live in this neighborhood. Yeah.
I actually, you know what's so funny? I've actually been to your house before and thought we were on the Upper West Side. We were actually Upper East Side. Okay.
That's how Jewish I am.
Close enough.
Okay.
Wait, Jews live on the Upper East Side too. Which Jews live on which?
Yeah, well, that's a whole nother podcast,
that's not the part
isn't
of the
it? Not today. Not today.
Sorry, New York City humor. But you're a comedian. We met in a class, essentially.
Did
right?
we? I don't even
so.
remember. I just remember meeting you and just being like, her. Like, she's got the thing.
We met. No, maybe we did meet in the class.
It might be. I mean, this thing, useless.
But no. Anyway, Amy's been very kind, super duper nice friend. But I don't know how you got into comedy. So how about you tell us more?
Well, it's a super... I had been working for a really long time to support my husband, put him through medical school.
Oh, wow.
And then when he finally started working, I was like, it's my turn. And I had taken, I have a master's in, or an MFA in film production and blah, blah, blah. And so it was time for me to get back to doing creative stuff. And I took a comedy class and I was like, this is writing, directing, performing, acting. Like, it's the whole everything. And so I liked the control.
The control. Yes, I guess I like it too. So creative girly took over. You took care of your husband, and then you were like, I need to get back to me. Okay, cool. And then how long ago was that?
Well, it's always so easy to remember because my first open mic was the weekend of Trump's inauguration.
Oh my God, 2016 or was that 2017?
Yeah, 17.
Yeah, 2017.
I know.
Yeah.
It's the only reason I don't like blocking it out, I guess.
Got it.
Exactly.
Okay, interesting. Okay, 2017. I love that. The weekend, that's January 2017. Wow, that's so on the nose. I love that. So, like, I feel like I performed with you at West Side Comedy Club a lot. We've been at other venues together. Love your comedy. Talk a lot about being a mom. I love that. But today, because it's We're Done Here Pod, we're here to talk about pelvic floor health, which I do not know what that is. I'm sorry. So you're going to have to give me an overview.
I didn't know what it was either until I didn't have it anymore.
Okay.
So I had this bizarro, I guess it's not that bizarre now that I've been talking about it more, but a constellation of issues that that usually people don't talk about in polite company, which is why I thought I was the only one. Like, when I would do jumping jacks or something, I would leak a little bit of wee-wee, or when I know, right? And then when I would eat certain foods, I would have these really horrific stomach episodes, but they were all these foods that are supposed to be good for you, like, kale and garlic and lentils. And so I'm like, wait, but I read on the internet that this is good for me. So why do I feel so messed up right now? And just a lot of, I don't know. And I didn't know which doctor to ask I didn't know what the question was. I didn't know which doctor to ask it to. I had had this experience about a decade ago where I had this like kind of hard thing in my right groin. And so I went to my OB and I was like, excuse me, what is this? And she was like, oh, that's something for your general practitioner. And then I went to my general practitioner and he was like, oh, that's something for your OB. And then I just kept ping-ponging back and forth. And finally I was at the dermatologist And I was like, I have this thing. And he, biopsied it. And it ended up being this benign tumor, but it needed, I needed surgeries to get it out. And it was like a thing. And so this was even more mysterious because I was like, is this a front issue? Is this a back issue? I just didn't know what was going on. And so I can't remember what the impetus was, but I made a New Year's resolution in 2023 that I was just going to deal.
Okay.
Life is too short. I was even weird about looking it up online because I was so ashamed and embarrassed.
Oh, wow.
Like I didn't want targeted ads for,
so
peepee your pants a little bit, when you go to the gym or whatever. And so I was just so much shame. And I was like, get over it. You don't want your whole life to be this way. It's not like it's going to get any better on its own because this has been going on for a long time. And so I went to a urologist and a GI doctor in the space of a couple months, and the urologist prescribed some pelvic floor physical therapy for me.
Wow. Wait, how did he know that or he or she?
It was a she. Come on.
I was like, he or she.
Yeah.
I was like, check my back. But how did they know what it was?
Well, there's a lot of relationship between your pee and your poop, actually. For example, this is all so complicated, but I was having these bad diarrhea episodes.
Okay.
But then when I went to the urologist, they were like, oh, you're constipated and that's putting extra pressure on your bladder, which is making it really hard for you to hold your urine in.
Oh, that's
and
so
I was like, I thought constipated was when you had to go, but you couldn't. And they were like, no, you're supposed to be going this amount and it's supposed to be this consistency. And it was just, my mind was blown because it's like, how do you get to be, our age? I mean, you're a lot younger than me, but how do you get to be my age and not know that there's a way that your poop is supposed to be?
I mean, I don't know nothing about it, honestly. Honestly, when you said pelvic, I thought we was talking about your stomach. So
right. Well,
that's how much I know.
Right.
So I have no idea.
Your pelvic floor is kind of a hammock of muscles and ligaments that is punctured by tubes, your, for your urethra and your rectum. I don't know if the rectum's the tube part. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I'm just a person with problems,
So you went to go see that one doctor, and then you went to the other doctor. Did they talk to each other?
They didn't really, because the GI doctor, the gastroenterologist, said if the stuff that the urologist prescribes didn't work, then we would talk more about some surgical options and things like that. And I wanted to do the more low-level interventions first before going down the surgery path.
Got it. So I would like to, is your issue solved or not really?
Well, it's the kind of thing where the first of all, there's a lot of misconceptions about this. Yes, I had 2 kids the old-fashioned way. So
you pushed them out.
Pushed them out.
The hole.
Yep.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah.
No C-section.
It really was. No C-section.
Original gangster.
That's right. That's right. Well, my dad's an OBGYN, which is also kind of a funny thread of this. You'd think I'd know about the neighborhood more, but
I feel like they ignore women's health. They don't really.
Yeah, even your dad at the dinner table,
Yeah,
it's just
I feel people just ignore women and what we care, whatever's wrong with us.
I think my mom's chicken piccata is too good to, really be talking about the pelvis at the dinner table or something. I don't know. So, oh God, I forgot where I was because this is such a complicated constellation.
We were
of
saying
things.
do you still have
do
the
I
issues,
still have
or is it
issues?
ongoing?
So the physical therapy for my pelvic floor and all these dietary recommendations, the GI doctor did prescribe a nutritionist.
Okay.
for me to see so that my diet would be more gut friendly. So that I wouldn't have my episodes as much. And I learned that for certain people, those foods that are healthy for everybody else, like fruits and vegetables, not all fruits and vegetables and not all people with all the ones that have these issues, but they don't get along well. And so, and I was always like, why do I feel gross after I eat fruit? And then this nutritionist kind of explained it to me because everybody else loves fruit and thinks fruit is so great. And
so what can you eat now?
Well, I can eat a lot of stuff, but it's the stuff that people are always saying don't eat it, like meat. And I was a vegetarian for 27 years. And started eating some meat a while ago, but and things like carbs. And
so they put you back on the meat and carbs.
Yeah. And I'm happy.
I mean,
it's working for me.
I wish I had these problems. Like, eat the meat and carbs. Like, no one has said this to me.
Right.
That's why I got to stop eating. I love that. Okay.
You know, and I some fruits and some vegetables are great. Like pineapple, great. Oh, this one I thought was really funny. They were like, you can eat unripe bananas, but don't eat ripe bananas. I'm like, who wants to eat unripe bananas? That's not even a thing.
Yeah, like,
you know,
everyone hates unripe bananas. Like, that's so interesting.
I do have a kid who loves unripe bananas. So she's a unique flower, and that's, you know, I'm happy for her.
A special child. Well, I want to go back to, because you were saying you were ashamed of it, but in 2023 you decided. So what pushed you over that? Like, what was like, you know what, this is also, don't be ashamed. Let's not be ashamed of our health. I know. Like, I understand, like, yeah, for women, like everything, we go through so many things and like everyone's so quiet and no one talks about it.
Oh, that's what I was going to say, though, is that the myth is that this is only something that happens to older women when they're having menopause or, you know, people who have had vaginal births or whatever. And it's not. I've met people in their teens who have suffered from these things. I've met a friend of mine who's a man, you know, in his like middle age is suffering from stuff like this with a neurological disorder, people who have had prostate cancer and radiation or different cancers or accidents with nerve injuries. There are all kinds of people of all ages, of all sexes that suffer with these kind of related issues, pelvic floor issues. Men have pelvic floors because it's this hammock that holds in your pelvic organs, like your bladder and your rectum and your everything.
On the skeleton, like
exactly.
It's holding stuff.
Exactly, it's doing the job, and it's very fragile and thin, and so it, you know, you can train it to get stronger. Yeah, they gave me a lot of extra Kegel exercises. That's what that is.
Exactly.
Exactly.
They always want to make it tight. Like.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they serve so many purposes.
Yeah, everybody needs to get up on the Kegels, girl. Like, whatever. This, like, I'm doing some right now.
Yeah, every time somebody says that word, I mean, don't you automatically clench?
I'm like, am I doing it right? Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Go on.
So, they gave me a lot of exercises and they really worked, and they gave me all these diet things. But, you know, my husband and I, our favorite thing to do together is go out to eat at fun, funky, you know, different restaurants, trying new foods and adventurous foods, or, you know, things that we haven't tried before. So it's adventurous to us. And, you know, a lot of those things don't get along with my gut. And, you know, the exercises take up a lot of time. And so I kind of have gotten to a point where I'm like, this is good enough. And, you know, sometimes I'll make conscious choices. Like, at least I know what I'm choosing.
Got it. You're like, I'm doing this, and I know there might be a consequence, but I'm only live once. I'm making this exception. Got it. Yes. No, totally get it. Yeah.
And I'll tell you the thing that actually I remember the moment that I figured out that I needed to seek help was I discovered I was losing about 1 day a month to these things, because after these diarrheal episodes, I was feeling really just weak and spent all day and just really uncomfortable in the butt. I mean, if we're banishing shame, I'm just going to say it.
No, talk about it. A lot of people got diarrhea.
Right. And then, you know,
Sorry, I have to say cha 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 after.
I now want to say cha-cha-cha every time I say the word diarrhea. It makes it so much more fun. Is that a thing?
I mean, I don't know. I am a millennial, so that's what we
Wow.
I'm an idiot.
I was born too early.
I will grow up.
No, don't, please. So I did the math and I was like, one day a month. Let's say I live to be 85 and I multiplied, 12 times however many years I would have left. And I was like, oh my God, I would lose literally more than a year of my life feeling spent, wiped out, horrible, uncomfortable, in pain if I don't get a handle on this.
That's crazy.
And I was like, really? And that's assuming that it never gets worse. And I mean, how many things when you age just get better by themselves?
Everything gets worse. So whatever you're dealing with now, it's going to get worse. That's what I heard. Somebody told me. Somebody told me.
No, it's true. So I was like, it's time to take control. So
I love
that was it.
I love it. And then you started like a whole show about it now. That's a thing.
Yeah, well, I did. I found it so inspiring and so crazy that I was able to fix a lot of these issues with these really small interventions that weren't surgical, that weren't super invasive or anything, and that I didn't know any of this stuff before. I just found that miraculous. And then the more I kind of did a little piece of the show here, a little piece there, I would talk to people and they were like, I have that problem too.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, so some of y'all listeners got this.
Yeah.
Pelvic floor, whatever.
Issues, right. Like pain during sex or,
it's a bunch of
a
things.
leaky bladder situation. Some people have leaky feces, which is
butt leaking.
Yeah, which is fun to say, leaky feces. Probably more fun to say than it is to have. But anyway, so it was really inspiring to me. So I have this one-woman show called PSA, Pelvic Service Announcement.
Okay.
And it just last night won Best Musical Comedy.
Oh my God, it's a musical comedy?
Yeah, it's original songs.
I gotta go see this. I would love to see this, yes.
It's really fun. I mean, I've never been so happy doing anything in my life.
Like, I feel like you found your groove.
I found my groove.
Love it. So where did you win Best Original?
At the United Solo Festival, which is the largest festival in the world of solo theater.
Just the largest festival in the world, girls. Okay.
Of solo theater. And then
love it.
And it's
theater.
won Best of Fest 2024 at the at Solo Fest, which is the largest festival of solo theater on the West Coast, so it's a qualified largest.
Okay.
But anyway, it's been doing really well.
Largest theater, we outside. Yes.
Yes, so it feels really good to be doing a show that is so fun to perform. It's got these original songs. I used to do
you sing?
kind of. I did original singer-songwriter stuff in the East Village in the 90s.
So
and yeah, I was in a band in high school.
Amy before the Children's. Listen,
a lot was going on. And then it stopped. Okay, but they are great. They are a whole new, wonderful beginning. And so... yeah, it's got that in it. It's got some crazy movement. It's got a lot of silliness.
Okay,
and
I have to go see it.
It's got me playing characters, including Elon Musk.
Oh my God, you're playing him?
That's one of my favorite characters that I do in this show. I also play a crazy nutritionist.
Okay, he's crazy. Elon Musk is like, I don't know, racist, autistic man? Yeah, billionaire?
I got it all in there.
Love that.
Yeah. It's been so fun to do, and I'm really happy that people are responding to it the way that they have. And I want it to be a piece for advocacy too, to make it more okay for people to talk about this stuff and not be ashamed and know that you can get help, because there's so many people who just think, oh, this is getting older.
Got it. You know what I started noticing about my pee?
What?
I feel like all of it's not coming out, and I got to do a little push.
Yeah.
What's that about?
I am
Why
not
do I do a little extra? I think because I hold it so much, because I don't like peeing in club. I don't pee outside. So I literally hold my pee I will not pee again. For like the rest and we'll perform all night. So when I do go pee, I know it's like some is still in there.
That's how I rate the clubs, is like which ones have bathrooms that are.
Some
but
clubs,
a lot of them, it's disease time.
My favorite club in the city that I love, they book me all the time, so I won't mention their name. I do not pee there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many to choose from, as I guess.
Is that a
well,
pelvic floor
yeah.
thing?
Like when I went to the urologist, they gave me this test where they said go urinate, and then they did an ultrasound to see if there was pee left. And so I think you are supposed to expel it out, all of it, and I was able to go back and expel all of it, so there was no intervention for that. But you know, so I didn't get to that part. But what I'd love to do with this show is perform the show and then have a urologist and a GI doctor and a pelvic floor physical therapist doing a Q&A with me, because there's so many more problems and so many more solutions.
Oh my God, that's true. Yeah,
you know,
that is true.
Have the professionals, because all I know is from my me search.
Got it. It's just so interesting. So obviously you have the show, so that's very therapeutic. You've learned how to like balance your life, it seems. Like sometimes you'll eat something that's not on the approved list, but most of the time, you know, you kind of go about it. You do these exercises. Is there anything else that you do? Like, I mean, who's your biggest supporter in this work?
Oh, well, my
the
husband is, you know,
how's your husband being supportive in this process?
Well, he's just being real cool about the show and me being gone all the time and me flying all over the place to do it. And, you know, the arc of the story is just how much I tried to hide this all from my husband and not tell him any of it.
Got it.
And he's a person who I knew even then that if I talk to him about it, he would be totally chill and cool. He's a very accepting, embracing, talk about anything, deal with anything person. But so it was my own issues, and so it really that was cool. So I would say that he's been my biggest supporter, and then my pelvic floor physical therapist was
Shout
wonderful.
Out to the pelvic floor
They're
physical
such a great
therapist.
group of people. They're so nice and fun.
I love that. Okay, I love that. Shout out to them. They're located here in the city.
Yeah. I got care from individual people, but then after I started, there's this new Weill Cornell Medicine Center for Female Pelvic Health.
Oh, wait, they have a new center on Roosevelt Island, but where's this?
Oh, this one's like just across the water from that, basically.
On the other east side. Okay,
yeah, like
it.
on York and
nice.
70th, around
Maybe I'll
there.
go there. Well, I'm a Mount Sinai girl myself.
Oh, okay.
We can
I
check
got
out
some people there.
The Cornell
Yeah.
West or whoever.
Not Cornell West.
Sorry.
Oh, that's funny.
That's
it's Cornell East.
Cornell East.
But
sorry.
I know what you mean. That's hilarious.
That's somebody else. Anyway, a black man with an afro. My bad. Okay, I love
funny.
that. So do you have any upcoming, like, are you looking to bring the show anywhere?
Yes,
in the
I want to
future?
bring it everywhere. I want
Okay.
to bring it back to my hometown of Portland, Oregon. I'm working on
Oh my God,
something
why
for
did I
that.
think you were from New York City?
Well, thank you.
You're from the West Coast? Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And, do a Pacific Northwest tour. So I'm kind of working on something there. I'm taking it 3 places in California. In the coming months, I'm going to LA to do an encore of it there at the Whitefire Theater, and doing the San Diego Fringe, the San Francisco Fringe.
Nice.
And yeah, I just really want to keep doing it. I wouldn't mind doing it places where they pay me. That would be cool.
Yeah, they should definitely be paying. I love how
providing
artists like, if we can get some money.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, awesome. I love that. Well, we're done with being embarrassed about our pelvic floor health. Thank you so much for sharing that, Amy. Can you tell us something you're not done with, pop culture or otherwise?
I'm not done with elaborate skincare routines.
Oh, wait, tell me more, because I can't figure out one to save my life.
Really?
I tried to do skincare stuff, and, like, my skin is, I realized, like, my skin, there's, like, no, this ain't for you, bitch, because, like, I'll break out, like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Same, like
so-
Pond's cold cream. People are like, oh, I just use Pond's. If that comes within a mile of my medicine cabinet, I break out. Like, I just cannot.
It's so
yeah.
weird. It's so, I've tried to be, but tell me
Okay,
what you're
so
doing.
this is one thing that I do. I get a lot of products from this thing, Beauty Pie, that has a very complex pricing structure, but it's a membership thing. And then once you join, the products are really inexpensive, and they're all pretty high end, pretty drugstore price.
Got it.
And just super quality makeup, skincare. So I, use
Beauty
their
Pie?
Beauty Pie.
Have you got a discount code, girl?
I do. I do. We'll put it in the notes. So yeah, well, you'll get $10. I'll get $10.
Sponsoring this podcast, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
We have no official affiliation with Beauty Pie, but we love.
But I use a lot of products from them. A lot of makeup, eyeliner, moisturizer. Night retinol, glycolic acid, blah 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 blah. And I love that stuff so much.
I love that stuff too. I love that you're talking about it. So what am I not done with this week? I don't know. I'm not done with summer or spring. I don't know what we're calling it. But I just kind of feel like New York City is getting hot. And we be outside in the city when it's hot. And there's this time period, because New York gets very funky, right?
Yeah.
Stank. And by the time it's the end of summer, you kind of hate it. But right now, the beginning of the summer, I'm into it. I'm having a good time. I'm loving it. I'm not done with it. I can't wait for rooftops. I can't wait for margaritas. I'm just happy. I'm wearing a summer dress.
Yeah,
I did get a silk press, but it's done now. Whatever. For the rest of you 4C girls listening to this silk press was literally 24 hours ago. But I'm not done with New York City summer.
Right. No, it's great. And I mean, just on the way here, so many tank tops, so many boobs, it was just,
lots of boobs, lots
so
of titties.
much.
Titties and thighs. Yeah.
It's time.
That.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Amy. Where can our guests find you?
At my website, amyveltman.com, and on Instagram at Amy Veltmania. It's VELTMANIA for the Veltmania part.
Great. Well, make sure you guys check that out. And we're done here.
Thanks for having me on. Bye.